40 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live.
That's right. We're going to switch gears here and onto our special report tonight. Learners will have to continue to remain at home for the next 3 months, as revealed yesterday by President Uhuru Kenyatta. A number of them have been engaged in online lessons to enhance their learning, but the majority of the children in the country are not able to access online learning and are now involved in helping their parents and guardians carry out daily chores. Our very own Makori Ongechi visited Isiolo, where pupils have set their books and pens aside for the field, where another kind of education is replacing the classroom. Take a look at this special report, Hard Lessons from Isiolo.
It is on a Monday morning in this rural village known as Manyata Zebra, located approximately 30 kilometers north of Isiolo town. It is home to Elvina Ngimathi, a Form 1 student at Ngaramara Girls, a government secondary school that is 5 kilometers away from this compound. And a few minutes to 7 a.m., Elvina is already up, ready to begin her day. On normal days, she could be preparing to run to school for a day of formal schooling. But for close to 3 months, since schools were shut down to combat the spread of the COVID-19 disease in the country, this has been her daily routine, and she is used to it. That home is now where school is in no doubt. And for over 15 million learners in the country who continue to remain at home due to the effects of the coronavirus pandemic, the next several weeks or perhaps months will be crucial in the learners interacting with their parents. But how exactly will that be happening, and what kind of learning will be taking place? In what looks like her first subject of the day, Elvina, who plays the main character in this rural home, begins by taking to the field this herd of cattle that exceeds 500 in number. As is custom here, she draws back the flock after an hour for milking. It seems easy for her to identify among these goats which is to be milked. And one by one, she helps her mother as they collect as much milk as possible. It is a heavy early morning task, just like their parents. Children here seem to be excited in this norm, protecting their pastoral way of life, taking care of their parents' wealth. These are their pets. They feel good when they hold them. They are drawn to them, so much so that even the animals are able to smell, or better still, sense them around. Here, harmony exists. After breakfast, Elvina, the firstborn in this family of 10, then leads her younger siblings to the day's big job. They set out for long-distance herding. It is in these fields and plains that most of her learning seemingly is centered. Her new classroom.
Wakati mbuzi nasimama hivi, wakati ni jua imewaka, mbuzi nasimama, so unaanza tena kusoma. Nikitembea au tunafunga kitabu, but tunaremember kenye ulisoma kwa hapo hivyo. Class subject per day, tunakuwa na timetable. Mimi nakuwa na personal timetable.
Among the duties she has, even as she interacts with these sheep and goats throughout the day, is this one. She is able to identify a struggling goat, detects that it could be sick, and quickly reports to her father. It is the father that applies an injection to the goat, as Elvina and her brother watch and follow keenly. And so they graze the entire day and only return home when the sun goes down. As darkness falls, she has little time. From her siblings' care to household maintenance and food preparation, Elvina plays an active, productive role here. But even so, in between the highly engaging chores, the 16-year-old is determined to do something exceptional with her life. And she believes education is the key that will open those doors. And every minute she gets, whether she is waiting for the water in the cooking sufuria to hit the boiling point, or she is struggling in between the smoke and firewood, she turns the pages of her geography exercise book reminding herself of the content of written notes from her last term.
Sasa nikikoroga hiyo ugali, nakoroga tu kiasi hivi, sijui kama ile ya chini imeshika maji. Nakuja tu tena naangalia kitabu. Kidogo nakimbia tena naangalia isiungue.
It is largely a patriarchal community. Boys are to eat first. This goes on and on to the night and then the next morning.
Watoto walitoka kwa shule. Wakati alikuja nyumbani nikajipangia kazi. Naambia sasa kama shule amefungwa, asema mchana mtaenda kuchunga mbuzi. Anarudisha nyumbani. Nikimaliza kurudisha alafu nakuja kusoma. Wakati analeta mali nyumbani, anauliza wamefikisha wapi, umeshungwa nini, umeangalia nini, alafu na jaribu kanyawa mchokosa hapa na chokosa watu, mheshimu wazee, wafijana sasa apate elimu kwangu, kwa sababu hata mimi babangu alimenifunza.
Hilo notes yenye mwalimu alitupa ndio tuliendelea kusoma, tukaenda mbele yake. Hata swali yenye tunaona ni difficult, tuna make groups discussion to help each other.
Her story only represents that of almost every child here. If they are not taking care of goats and sheep, then it's cows. There are those who spend their days in the farm. About 10 kilometers away from this home is this family that, besides pastoralism, has focused on subsistence farming. There are 3 school-going children in Form 4, Form 2 and Class 6.
Wamekuja nyumbani, kaona sasa hakuna kazi nyingine wanaofanya kuanza kukulima sasa. Kunisaidia hii shamba kidogo. Ndio tupata angalau pate kidogo. Waendelee tu kitambo shule ifungulie.
Education Chief Administrative Secretary Mumina Bonaya urges parents to resume their roles of mentoring their children in character and skills. She says the amount of time children will be at home requires an active role from parents.
Parents need to be the one drawing up routine for these children so that their learning is not just about formal education, but also the traditional learning that needs to happen in a home setting. There's this belief by most Kenyans that for a child to be guided in their learning at home, the parent has to be literate or must know how to read and write. I want to disagree with that. First of all, most of us here, we grew up in a home where none of the parents knew how to read or write.
This morning, I saw a daughter and a father discussing about one of the goats that was not well. And they were able to discuss and what symptoms the girl was seeing. But because she's still in school, she's not able to give an injection. And that's where the father came in. And I saw some of the skills that the government is talking about. Then I also saw things like self-management and time management. This girl knows she has a routine. She wakes up at 6, and by 7 she needs to have taken the goats out and done so many things. So within that day, she allocates time for study, time for her housework, time to manage the things as she talks about her father's wealth. And through it, I was able to see what the government has been emphasizing, that the home is the first school for the child. She's able to identify a sheep by specific markings, and that calls for a lot of being attentive to details. And those are the skills that many employers are complaining about that our children do not have.
Going forward, because this pandemic is here for a while, I want to state without any fear of contradiction that our parents must change their mindsets and love their children, provide time. And the love is measured by the number of minutes or hours that you spend with your child. It is not measured by the amount of money you give to your child.
The activity should be a face-to-face activity.
And perhaps to confirm Education CS Professor George Magoha's words that the syllabus will begin from where it stopped when schools reopen, look at this. Grade 3 learners following a KCD lesson on radio.
Were you able to answer my questions?
They actually do not have textbooks. The textbooks remained in schools due to the abrupt closure of school.
Which road safety sign has a picture of two children holding hands.
So they can't picture or make reference to the kind of road signs the teacher in the radio is talking about.
You know, the cloud and the radio and the TV is just to remotely engage our students. But like my CS said, once we reopen, we will pick from where we left. And there's a reason why we said so. We are aware of the challenges in areas like this, where you will have to have a teacher in a classroom to effectively deliver a lesson. And you've just seen it here, where children are following class on road safety signs, but they are not able to relate.
Their peers are looking at screens or even tablets as learning continues. Here, looking after these cows, sheep, or even goats is the school of life that hasn't stopped. Life skills is gained. Makori Ongechi, Citizen TV, at Manyata Zebra, Isiolo County.